coronavirus rules in Canada are seemingly changing by the hour. It's hard to believe we're back at this place again. Hard to comment on any specific changes, although I do want to address one announcement that was made. It was one of the quieter ones in that I don't think it's going to dominate what people are talking about. It's not going to make the front pages, but I think it's indicative of government response being too hasty, and perhaps a lesson as to why we should not be rushing in to making all these COVID restriction announcements. It's the news that the federal government is dropping the travel ban on 10 African nations that they only put in place really just the other week. I very much remember when that happened, the day, because it began with Doug Ford and Aaron O'Toole calling for Justin Trudeau to close the borders to these countries, to stop the Omicron variant from coming to Canada. A lot of good that did, eh? And I remember saying, guys, hold on a second. This is going to begin the cascading effects that bring us closer to lockdowns. It feels like we're in March 2020 all over again. Haven't we learned our lesson? Now, it's funny, that was kind of their argument, because they said, hey, hasn't Justin Trudeau learned his lesson? He was too slow to shut down the borders last time around. He's got to act quickly. Things are very different now, though, than they were in March 2020. And I gotta say, I'm a little frustrated by these conservative leaders calling for things that I don't think are necessary, but they're doing it really just to make Justin Trudeau look bad, because I don't think that those border closures were really going to have any effect on public health, and I think we've learned that that's been proven to be incorrect. Now, quietly, the Liberal government acknowledging, okay, well, I guess we didn't need to do that, and now they have lifted those specific border bans from those 10 African nations, which maybe if we just waited a few days, we would have seen, okay, we didn't need to do this after all. Now, there's a phrase you've heard a lot about, many of you are probably sick of it, out of an abundance of caution. We have to do this thing out of an abundance of caution. Maybe there was a time and a place for that. We can argue when that was the case and when we should have stopped doing that, but I hope we can all agree that now is actually not the time to greatly restrict our lives, our liberties, and bring about the increasingly well-documented harms that those things have caused out of an abundance of caution. Yeah, might as well. Why not? I'm not so sure, but I'm going to do it anyway. No, you don't do that anymore. Now, you wait until these things are absolutely 100% proven to be vital, necessary, and effective, which means we hold off on all of this stuff until we know more. There's some disagreements right now as to the severity of the Omicron variant. It seems most folks are saying, no, it's actually not more severe. A couple outliers like the Ontario Science Table saying, yes, it is more severe, but everybody kind of agreeing that they actually don't have all that much data. So you know what you do? You wait until you do have the data.